Hey there YouTube, Air of Carthage here. Let's get some online commentary since I did Eco Iki yesterday, and I guess we'll go back to Eco Iki tomorrow. Let's head on into Avatar Conquest, one of my favorite places. Right now let me show you the retainers I'm using. I'm just kind of having a good time messing around with the Eco Iki retainers. I use those sometimes I don't, sometimes I use my sword retainers, it just kind of depends. And the reason I'm using these is it makes my Naginata samurai pretty tough, and it also gives added morale to any of my lone sword and added melee defense to my lone sword. It does cut back on their attack though, so there is a trade-off. So some people think the Eco Iki things are overpowered. They're really not, because I mean, like in Renyo's teaching, you get -10 to reload, you -2 to attack. I mean, you pay the price. You do get the morale, but you pay the price in your attack ability. So you have to know how to manage such an army and what kind of troops to bring with it. Not necessarily my favorite retainers, but ones that I'm liking to use right now. This Mark of Fanaticism is to help Patchy out. It gives him extra. It gives him extra morale, 5 extra morale. And there is a let's see, +3. Let's see, it gives my monk and Ashigaru +3 melee defense. This one gives all units +4 melee defense. I was kind of thinking about dropping the Yari Master, and I got a new legendary item, and it is like this famous sword, and it allows Patchy's attack to pierce armor. But you know, Patchy isn't a melee general, so I'm not sure if I really want to use that right now since I need these other retainers. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. I've showed you my skill tree. It hasn't changed since then. Let's go take a look at the conquest map. I keep forgetting to look and see if the clan won the last time. If it did, someone let me know. I never noticed. So it'd be kind of interesting to see. Looks like Huntsman has worked their way into Tier 1, so congratulations to them. And it looks like the Air of Carthage fans are off to a broad start here. So it looks like Shogun 2 Total War Russia is again our nemesis, as they usually are since they're the other large clans similar to us. But there's lots of other competing clans out there. So it looks like if I put my avatar right here, I might be able to capture this province because there's only a little bit needed until we take it from Clan Long. And then I'm going to tell the Air of Carthage fans to attack out here. And Clan Shogun, or Total War Shogun 2 Russia clan will take provinces from them since they're the second place clan. It's always a good idea to do. Let's go to or actually let me go to my Army and Navy management, make sure I don't have any veteran units that need to be messed with. Some of you asked me to show you what kind of veteran upgrades I'm using. I guess I can do that. Come on, cat, get out of the way. Get. For some reason my cat thinks that he makes a better window than a door, but it's just not true. No, you can't root around there. Get out of the way. Alright, there, finally. Convinced him to get out of the way. And what his deal is sometimes. I need to clear this so I can mess with my units. This Bow Warrior Monk can be leveled up. These guys are quite expensive, so, I mean, I almost hate to use units this expensive, but sometimes they come in real handy. Let's see, I have done extra ammunition, whistling arrows. I'm trying to think. They're already pretty darn accurate. But I'm thinking the reload skill would probably be handy, or bow damage. Let's do bow damage. And some of you are asking me what difference does it make how you upgrade your unit? Well, it just depends on what you want your unit to do. So you just have to think it through. I wanted my Bow Warrior Monks to have plenty of ammunition since they fired off relatively quick, so I got extra ammunition. This bow damage obviously makes each volley more damaging, more armor piercing quality. And then the whistling arrows obviously demoralizes. So you have to know what you want your unit to do. Some of my other units, like say for instance, take a look at my Katana Cav. I wanted them to be a little bit faster since they're a little bit more lumbering. I wanted them to have a little bit more charge, more attack, more morale. You say which ones are the best. Some of you ask me, well, it really just depends on what you want to use that unit for. If we take a look at some of my other units and how I've upgraded them, you know, this one I have morale, attack, defense, and speed because I want them to get around the battlefield quicker. It looks like they can be upgraded further. I'm trying to think, bonus first cavalry. Don't really need that. Their melee attack is pretty poor because of the Eco Iki retainer, so if I upgrade that again, it may help balance that off a little. Although 6 melee attack is nothing impressive. Let's see if there's any other units. Yep, these Naginata units can be upgraded. Nagio Face is the name of it. Probably upgrade the melee defense to make them even more tough unit to take down. I like Naginata Samurai. They're a pretty versatile unit, multifaceted unit. Decent in attack, and quite a stout defense you can see if you're using the Eco Iki retainers with pretty good morale. So, and I find that it seems like they get more kills than just regular warrior monks sometimes, so I don't know, I really like the Naginata units. And I do have some veteran matchlock units as well. These guys come in handy quite frequently. Usually you want to upgrade their reload speed first, at least I do. A lot of people think that's cheap, of course. It's kind of the issue on Shogun too. But in all honesty, I don't usually bring many of these guys, and so I definitely want them to be effective when I'm there. Some of you may hate me for using these guys, but I don't know, I just find the matchlocks to be a versatile unit. Are they overpowered? Absolutely, I agree they're a little overpowered. I think that they need to nerf their accuracy. Now, Shogun 2 battles are very fast-paced, so the reload speed isn't the biggest thing. I think they may want to nerf that just a little bit, but I really think they need to nerf the accuracy, because these old smoothbore matchlock weapons would be fairly inaccurate, I think, for the most part, unless you were at extremely close range. I think I've upgraded most of my units, so let's go ahead and get on to the match-made battle here and see what fate deals us tonight. I've been playing a lot of Halo, so I'm definitely a little out of practice on this game, but you never know. Like, sometimes I have good nights, sometimes I don't. It has pitted me against a 1-star, so I'm actually going to probably not show you this game. I'll go ahead and play it, and then I'll come back on and start recording once I get in the next match, maybe against a higher level opponent, just because this isn't going to be much of a fair match for my opponent. Alright, YouTube, I finished that battle. He actually played really well, I think, for a 1-star. He just made a couple of mistakes. But again, I don't want to be showing that because then I'll get accused like 100 times over of only playing noobs or something on YouTube. That's usually the way it rolls. Looks like Clan Long is really dedicating themselves to certain provinces. Let's see if there's any easy pickings over here. That one would only take a couple of victories. This one would only take a couple of victories. That one's a long ways off. That one's not too bad. Yeah, let's see if there's any easy ones over here. Anzac Samurai look like they're trying to take these. Seems like some clans just try and secure a couple of provinces for themselves, and keep them secure, which does make it harder to take. The Huntsman clan are holed up right here. I think they got one other province out here, though. Yeah, they got the Ocean province. I'm just laughing because I know a couple of people from the Huntsman clan. They're good players. I just think they're a lot fewer in number than the Heir of Carthage fans, for sure. These big clans have a distinct advantage, I think, in this type of scenario here, just because you have massive numbers to use against your opponent. I mean, they probably should have thought some way to balance that, but I don't know, it'd be tricky. Let's go ahead and see if we can find a match. Like I said, hopefully I show you a match against someone that's closer to my own rank. Not that I know you have to play someone when you're those 1-stars, and it's going to sting, because a lot of the people who play the game now are ranked way up. They have veteran units, and you don't. If you're a 1-star, well, this time I got a 2-star, so it's not much different. So I guess I'm not going to show this one either, but I'll... Oh, he's in the clan with me, though, so maybe they want me to show if they're an Heir of Carthage fan. Say hi here. I don't know. Maybe they don't recognize my Steam name. Oh, yeah, they do recognize me. Do you want this to go on YouTube? I am doing live comm, but I know... but only if you like. See what they say. Because some people don't necessarily want to be shown on YouTube. I'll say good luck, have fun, hope you enjoy the match. I just want it to be, a good, friendly fun. I have my veteran units here. Let's go and... I actually only have one veteran unit. It's my Naginata Monk Cav. It took very few casualties in the last match, so I'll just go ahead and take it. Unless I have... Yeah, I don't have enough money to bring my other veteran Monk Cav. It costs $950. So I'm using a pretty straightforward army here. Where my opponent is going to need to gain the advantage is going to be... oh, he's asking if I'm ready. And ready. Thanks for asking. Very polite. So yeah, in any case, where my opponent's going to be able to get the advantage is if he uses large numbers. Let's see if he's developed his general, and he's a swordsman leader and physically fit. So he has some basic general traits. And like I said, my retainers are going to make this, I mean, any retainers I use are going to make this difficult for him. So yeah, I mean, it would definitely change things. But if I take my retainers away, again, I don't have much money. So I don't know, I probably could and get away with it. But I mean, I'm just trying to, like I said, this person said they wanted to be shown on YouTube, so I'll go ahead and show it. So any of the haters out there, I understand that I'm playing someone of a lower rank, but they're in my fan club, and sometimes these people watch my channel and they may want to see themselves in the video. I'm certainly not going to ever brag about winning matches. So yeah, it shouldn't be anything like that. This is the Hida Mountains map. I like this map. It's pretty fun. Again, my opponent is hopefully going to try and get me with numbers. That's the only way you got to take a 10-star. And another thing you want to do against a 10-star is not just take them all head-on. You do want to meet some of their forces head-on, but you kind of just want to have a distraction force to meet them in the front, and then you want to quickly go around the flanks and use that advantage of numbers. You've got to use that advantage of numbers, especially when these people have a fully ranked up leader general or melee general. It can be very dangerous to your army if you're a 1 or 2-star. So that's what you're going to want to use is the advantage. There is a morale building out there. I'll kind of fight over it a little bit, but I'm not going to go crazy over it because me gaining that morale building, my units already have really high morale. You can see that I have 10 morale just on this this Yari Ashigaru, or Bow Ashigaru, my bad. So I'm going to go in a standard formation here. I'm right-clicking and dragging my troops. Some of you are always asking me how to, hold on, Achilles is knuckleheading around back here. Come on out of there, cat. And I think you all know how cats are. Whenever they get somewhere where you don't want them, they like claw on and just try and stay there. Looks like Devil Matt saying hi to me. Devil Matt's the one who makes my intro picks and stuff, so appreciate him. Say hi here. Whoops, yeah, I got it in there. So a little shout out to him there, since I appreciate all the work he does for me on those, as I'm not really capable of doing them myself. Don't have the software to do so. Some of you have asked, come on, cat, for goodness sakes, I've had to throw you down like 4 times already in this video. I'm going to put my units in defensive formation. You do that by clicking this button right here, or Shift 2. And I just want some of these units in defensive because it means they don't stand and engage. They can kind of hit and get out of a fight, or if they're attacked, they won't chase someone into battle. So my opponent asked if I was ready, so I'm ready. That's very polite of him to do. So at least in this video also, you know, I'll try and give you a few pointers depending on what happens here in the battle, and just also say I appreciate my opponent being polite like that. Let's see what he's brought. He's got 2 Matchlock Ashigaru, 2 Lone Sword, 2 more Lone Sword, backed up by 3 Yari Ashigaru. So he does have the numbers advantage, and he could have Hidden Cavalry. He's not going for the morale building. I'll go ahead and move up. I'm going to put my troops kind of halfway in the woods here. He does have Hidden Cav. It is a light Cav unit. Now my Naginata Monk Cav can take these guys, but if he has other Hidden Cav, it's hard to say, because my Monk Cav, although they're upgraded and have decent stats, they might fall to Yari Cav. That would be one of the dangers. Let's see, there's 2 light cavalry out there. A definite risk. If I charge them, I would want to use Patchy to support. But you never know. Sometimes people will put a couple of units out here just to bait you into a trap. So I might think, oh, look at those 2 light cav, I'll trash them. And then he could have like a Yari Ashigaru walking with him. So you always want to be careful and make sure that you feel confident before moving into something like that. Now these woods will help shield my men a little bit from his matchlocks, and those matchlocks are going to be of dire concern, because they can definitely pummel my army if given the appropriate amount of time. So I don't want to give my opponent a lot of time to shoot at my army, and I definitely don't want to let him get in range of Patchy. So I'm going to try and capture this building. I'm going to put my archers fully up in the woods here. I'm not going to really try and capture the building, I guess. It's just try and keep him from capturing it. This is just something you want to do. And I did turn this thing on where I can see what my opponent's unit statistics are. He has a unit of light cavalry heading this way. I want to be careful about charging right out there, though, as his matchlocks might get in range. My bows are going to be in range, but you can see that their reload skill is pretty poor, just due to the Eco-Iki retainers. I am going to go ahead and take this light cav in combat, and I'll bring Patchy out here to support. Of course, the light cav is faster, and my monks are running the wrong way. I won't get too far out there. I don't want to get lured away from my army too much. Some stray matchlock shots just went past Patchy and actually caught a couple of my my Naginata Cav. But these woods will give me a little bit of range, or a little bit of protection from those ranged units that my opponent has, and he's probably going to want to lure my Cav out. He's doing an excellent job by getting stuff behind my lines. What I can do though here is wait till he's finished reloading. I can use one of my spears as a meat shield. I definitely want to keep an eye on his Cav, so sometimes it's good to play, if someone has units behind you, it's good to play like this. Okay, this is the time to strike, because my opponent has started to shift his troops, and so sometimes that's a good time to catch people off guard. I will take my Naginata Cav up here, as he doesn't have a whole lot of Cav to answer that, and then I'll leave some spears to help protect Patchy. Actually, I'm going to put those guys in a tight formation. Or whoops, didn't mean to put them on defenses. I am going to get the charge on his lone sword there. I'm going to take my Naginata Cav all the way up around. He's going for a hammer and anvil strike there. It's a good move. I'm going to rally my units. You can see that my lone sword there is wavering, so that was definitely a nice strike on his part.
Our men are running from the battlefield.
I think I can catch his Cav here though. I'm gonna get this fight out away from his troops as much as possible. He's really outdoing me here. I need to get my troops out away from here. See if I can get mine behind his lines. Now I am going to take Patchy off the horses and start fighting these guys on foot. Just because Patchy has pretty good attack. Come on, Patchter. Get in that fight. I think he can take those Yari-Ashigaru. My men are losing the fight elsewhere though, so he's playing very well.
Our men are running from the battlefield. Shameful display.
Yeah, this guy's kicking my butt, man. I've made all kinds of mistakes. This is a great video. I'm definitely going to show this on YouTube just because he did some excellent strategy here. A lot of you are asking me, how do you take down 10 stars when you're the lower rank? This is how it's done right here. You see how he brought the numbers advantage? He got around my flanks. He got my units distracted. This was just an excellent game on the part of my opponent. You know, sometimes it's a little bit embarrassing to show stuff like this, but you shouldn't be embarrassed about getting beat by a player with skill, and my opponent obviously plays this game with some skill. So although I got a fairly good number of kills, I didn't support my units right. I should have played a little bit differently and taken a different approach, but like I said, I allowed him to use that numeric advantage. He did an excellent job. Excellent job to my opponent. So I hope you see that that's how it's done. I'm going to save this replay here. He has left the game, so I don't get the opportunity to say anything. Let's go take a look at the stats so I can give you a breakdown in this. Like I said, the mistakes I made there, I clearly allowed my opponent to outflank me. He used those matchlock well. He did not allow them to get caught up on the front lines. I was trying kind of to get tangled up with them. And one of the mistakes I made here is that I'm not using my sword retainers, and I kind of forget that sometimes. So my army doesn't have the ferocious attack that it normally does. So I should have played a little more defensively, getting my swords engaged, used Patchy more as a leadership general rather than a melee general like I did, and just supported them with the stand and fight, and that would have kept my men in there, and then I should have tried to maneuver my cav around just to tie up his matchlocks long enough for me to defeat his infantry. Again, very well played by my opponent. So I definitely enjoyed that battle. You can see that he did a lot of right things. He fielded a lot more units than I did. He fielded about 400 more units than I did. And let's take a look at the unit statistics here. See, Patchy, look how many kills Patchy's got. Patchy got 145 kills, and he's a leader general. So yeah, just keep in mind that he's definitely a tough general. So don't always be fooled. But you can see it was my my Lone Sword Ashigaru who failed in this fight. Lone Sword Ashigaru are good. They do have high morale when they come in a leadership army, and a lot of people think they need to be nerfed, and in fact someone got like all over my case not too long ago for using them. You can see that it's clear the way to break Longsword Ashigaru is by playing on that weak morale, and the weak morale is most affected by units like Matchlock and Cab Charges, and you can see that my opponent used both of those to clearly best me in that match. So excellent game to my opponent, well played, excellent example of how to beat a higher level general. Let them make the mistakes, let them use that overconfidence, and then nail them. So that's a fantastic match. Good game to my opponent. I enjoyed it, and the great thing is that since he was in my clan, it's no loss. We still gain the we still gain clan influence out on the map. So that's how you play a friendly game, and that's also how I think everybody should try and be, gracious in losing. Man, I didn't realize that I haven't captured all the naval areas. Maybe I'll do a naval battle here and film that also. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that live commentary. Maybe some of you will be disappointed that I lost, but honestly, I'm kind of glad I lost that match because I think my opponent illustrated an excellent lesson there. And there's no shame in losing. It happens. And yes, you can be competitive on the game, but it's always good to be a gracious loser. And in that case, excellent game to my opponent. I told him good game during the match, and he told me good game as well. So glad that he watches the video. So this is your shout out and your spot here. You came, and I guess not that it's too incredibly difficult, but you thrashed air and taught everybody a good lesson. So I'm glad that you were on matchmaking tonight.